Republican operatives, GOP officials caught using the N-word 400 damn times. What state? That's right, Florida. Put it up, full mass. This has to be some kind of GOP record. Another group of young Republicans have been busted for running a racist group chat, but messages in this one details dozens of ways. Some of these are brand new to me, to brutally murder Black Americans. This is the Republican Party's Miami-Dade County Secretary. Put him up. Abel Alexander Carvajal, a 23-year-old second-year law student, Florida International University, co-founder of the school's Turning Point USA chapter, who created the WhatsApp group initially called Uber blank Yapping Inc., utilizing derogatory terminology for those who he believes are less cognitively competent than him. This happened last September. So this is one of the many racist texts that can be found in the group chat. The most active user of the N-word in the aforementioned text and in the group chat as a whole, you got a guy named William B. Jarano. William is pictured there. Abel Alexander told the Miami Herald that he generally ignored messages sent to the group. Now, I want to put that text back up momentarily. Okay, this is just a snippet. 9:28:25, 10:59 a.m. William says, kill the N-words, behead N-words, roundhouse kick N-word into the concrete, slam dunk N-word baby into the trash can, crucify filthy Blacks, defecate in a N-word food, launch N-words into the sun, stir fry N-words in a wok, toss N-words into active volcanoes, urinate into N-words gas tank, judo throw N-words into a wood chipper. You get the point. Now, the messages obviously are insane. They were not only championed by young Republican leaders, but also protected by those in the group chat, even if they did not opine on the insanity of those comments. Now remember, this is the up and coming emerging political class, albeit the conservative party, but they are future leaders of America, so to speak, correct? And these future leaders of America are mimicking the current corrupt, feckless, cowardly leaders they look up to today. So when you look at young leadership, look no further than the leadership who has designed them. And that is what's happening here. Now, obviously, this is a point of reflection, an opportunity for these young emerging leaders to take a look in the mirror, to transform themselves from the inside, to remember that everyone has a remarkable place, a stand in humanity. Abel told the Miami Herald that he generally ignored messages sent to the group, but that, quote, I guess to an extent, I bear some responsibility, end quote. He similarly told the Floridian he had no knowledge of the racist comments as they were being posted to his WhatsApp group, and which he at times appears to have responded to. Quote, no, he said when asked whether he would be stepping down over the slurs. Quote, of course not, for a chat where the messages that were stated were not mine. Let me read the quote in full. Quote, I guess to an extent I bear some responsibility because I created a chat. But if I had seen this at the moment, I would have removed, referencing Bejarano, from the chat. I probably would have even blocked his number, end quote. The Herald found that Carvajal had deleted 14 messages sent by the participants in the chat and 42 of his own messages before the publication obtained the chat's log. He deleted messages. They do not know the content or context of all of the messages obviously deleted, but you can tell that there's been augmentation. Now, he claims he had no knowledge of the N-word being dropped so many times. This is ironic to me. And the reason is because, number one, we're talking about over 400 damn times, sir. Even if you passively look at a WhatsApp chat message, you are going to see the N-word. Number two, you created the group, which means you don't bear some responsibility. You don't have an extent of responsibility. You are, in fact, responsible. I started a group page similar on Facebook probably 10 years ago, 9 years ago, for my radio show. That page is still active. I am still the administrator. I have to still delete comments and block people every single month because they decide to act in a way that's, well, let's just say bigoted or outrageous, shocks the conscience. So I do that every month for years because I created the group. Okay? Real simple. I bear responsibility for it. Now, he added that if he had known these messages, remember, he would have called the police. If he would have known about the messages, he would have called the police on them. The truth is, here's the truth. He also participated in some of the racist discussion while referring to a black student who allegedly left Florida International University's college Republicans after a member of the group called her the N-word. The Floridian reported that this young Republican leader wrote, quote, why didn't Migris leave? Elsewhere in the chat, the publication reported that he used Migris, M-I-G-G-R-E-S-S, Miglet, M-I-G-G-L-E-T, and Migger, M-I-G-G-E-R, to refer to black women, black children, and black people in general. Can we put his picture back up, Jordan? Sir, I fault you not only for being bigoted, but lacking imagination. To change the M to the N, or N to the M, excuse me, and you believe that somehow that's code, and you're tricking somebody who may actually uncover the fact that you are, well, being bigoted, and that this somehow saves you, is insane to me. The behavior wasn't limited to online chats. The messages from that racist behavior and actions were directed toward at least one African-American student to force her to leave the college Republicans. One portion of that chat references an African-American student named Sandra, whose real name has been changed to protect her identity. Sandra left the FIU college Republicans after being subjected to racial slurs. Unsurprisingly, they were anti-Semitic also. Daniel Gonzalez, the college Republicans recruitment chairman at the time, said, quote, you can't F all the and utilize the racial derogatory term for Jews. You won't. Just don't marry them and procreate. Ian Valdez, the Turning Point USA chapter president, responded, quote, I would def not marry a Jew, end quote. In other words, everybody's on code here. In one exchange, in logs from the Florida group, Valdez wrote that, quote, if this chat gets leaked, we're so cooked. Laughing my ass off. Gonzalez responded that, quote, this isn't even my worst one. To which Valdez replied, quote, I'm in a few on Telegram that are definitely worse, end quote. If Mr. Carvajal does not resign from his position in the Miami-Dade County Republican Party, his fellow board members have asked the Republican Party of Florida for his removal. Now, I do have more, but I want you to understand the infrastructure. The young Republicans of Florida, ironically, just as the young Republicans of Georgia and the young Republicans of you name the state, they are in fact a subsidiary, an official subsidiary of the official Republican Party, okay? Just as the Democratic Party for a state, they have Young Democrats of Georgia, et cetera, et cetera. These are official subsidiary organizations, and they do retain the final say-so in the progression or dissolution of that particular entity that it governs by way of licensing control from the RNC. So to suggest that this is not part of the full matrix of the Republican Party is, well, untrue. As a matter of fact, it is where they recruit, cultivate their new leaders. All right, put him up full man. Kevin Cooper, chairman of the Miami-Dade County Republican Party, told the Miami Herald that, quote, anyone associated with this chat should resign immediately. Quote, I am shocked and appalled at these statements. Racism and anti-Semitism have no place in the Republican Party. I am proud to be the first Jewish chairman of the Miami-Dade Republican Party, which is comprised of a diverse group of members from every race and background. I mean, man, he sounds like a straight up revolutionary until you realize it's just a statement. He's actually a Trump supporter and his folks got caught. Probably doesn't like the anti-Semitic statements and racist statements. We understand that, but sir, you're in the Republican Party. You already know what's up. Don't gas it. According to another source within the local Republican Party, quote, the role of the party secretary is not symbolic. It carries a responsibility to represent all members of the organization with professionalism and respect. The source said, adding that Abel Alexander Carvajal is in an elected leadership position and represents the largest Republican county party in Florida. That includes more than 170,000 African American voters. The Republican Party of Florida said in a statement that it was undertaking, quote, an internal review of the situation and condemned the comments, saying they were completely contrary to what the organization represents. The university said in a statement on Thursday that the conduct of the student, the conduct is being investigated by the campus police in coordination with the local, state, and federal law enforcement. Quote, FIU does not and will not tolerate violence, hate, discrimination, harassment, racism, or anti-Semitism, end quote, said FIU President Jeanette Nunez, a former Florida lieutenant governor and GOP state lawmaker. Quote, this is not who we are. This is not what FIU stands for. The president of Turning Point at the university has stepped down. Quote, the Turning Point USA chapter of Florida International University has been made aware of the recent incident involving chapter leadership. The chapter president has stepped down from the leadership position, et cetera, turned over social media handles and is no more and has no influence with the entity. FIU, let's Turning Point, put it up, full match. Ironic here. So Florida International University, first of all, they allowed Turning Point USA to engage in this kind of behavior previously. Turning Point chapter, they had a group chat problem before. So in 2018, chat logs obtained by the Miami New Times intergroup called TPUSA FIU Fund included messages joking about sexual abuse, like in cartoon, sexual exploitation, featuring drawings of underage girls and reminding members to not be racist and anti-Semitic. At the time, 75 faculty signed onto a letter calling the school administrators to revoke the organizational status of the campus Turning Point USA chapter. If you would have listened to your faculty in 2018, you wouldn't be on Indisputable in 2026. Very simple. All right, Sharon, thoughts here.
You know, I'm thankful I've never had to deal with termites, right? Because if
Yeah.
you deal with termites, you have to eradicate them fully. Otherwise, they can burn your whole house down, basically. They'll eat up everything. And it strikes me that, more than 400 references here to the N word and someone resigning and not being able to moderate something is supposed to be some kind of solution. It's not. This is who you are if we take the drywall down and look underneath. This is what's around the rotted windowsill. This is who you are. And I don't know why, Doc, they don't just be loud and proud with it. You know that saying, black and proud? Why not be racist and proud? If this is how you talk to one another and you're committed to it 400 plus times, and that's just what we know about, this is a commitment and a pledge of who you are. And I don't know why anyone, it's particularly in this climate, would be running from it. And by the way, if you need a moderator for your chat, I love to block people. I'm available, Doc. If you need me, you let me know. Just give me my own little access and I'll block everybody who's out of pocket on your page.
Don't tempt me and you both with a good time. Sometimes I have fun making sure
Isn't
that
it
people get
wonderful?
business and then get blocked.